Hi guys, I'm Clay Ballard with Top Speed Tennis and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to go over what I call the wrecking ball technique, and this is a technique where you transfer weight from your body up through the ground into your racket and into the ball, and you're going to start absolutely hammering some forehands and backhands. We're going to take a look at Rafael Nadal displaying this technique perfectly and talk about how you can incorporate this into your own game. Let's go ahead and get started. Alright, so as we saw with that wrecking ball hitting into the car, when you have momentum working into your favor, you can get a lot of extra power and you can transfer that power in tennis out to the ball through the racket. So we're going to take a look at that with Rafa here hitting a forehand, and he absolutely just obliterates this forehand. We're going to see that in a second. But we're going to talk about how you can do this with a forehand or a backhand. We'll take a look at a backhand here in a moment. But we're getting all the weight from our body to transfer into that ball. So let's go ahead and start out when he's setting up the shot. He's waiting for the shot here, and we'll see that his foot, his lead foot, both feet are about 1.5 to 2 feet behind the baseline. So he's staying behind this baseline, waiting for the shot, and he hasn't started to transfer his energy forward at all here yet. And again, as he's setting up the shot, he's moving sideways, but he's not really transferring forward. Now this is where the magic starts to happen here. He sees where the shot is coming, and he's beginning to shift his weight with his lower body forward. So right here, we're going to mark this again. The lead leg is about 1.5 feet behind the baseline, and what he's going to do now, what he's going to do now from this position is he's now going to shift forward with the lower body, get that momentum going forward, and he's stretching out with that lead leg. So here, the lead foot has now gone from about 1.5 feet behind the baseline to right on the baseline, and look how the upper body is still very loaded up and back. So he's preparing to get that wrecking ball motion with the entire upper body as he's going forward. So from the lead ankle to the lead shoulder, it's angled back, and he's super loaded up here, really stretching out the muscles in his obliques. And when you stretch out these muscles, those are going to be able to fire a lot quicker, and he's got all this momentum behind the ball. Now from here, he's going to start to transfer this forward as he's making the forward motion with his swing. So that correlates with the forward movement of his racket. So the body was back, now he's moving that forward, and now we can see instead of being angled back, everything is straight up and down, and he's got momentum moving from his upper body, his torso, his chest, his hips. All that is moving here toward the opposing side of the court. So he's adding extra energy from that to be able to hit this ball with a lot of power. So he's loading up. So step one, we're behind the baseline. Step two, we got the lower body moving forward, and we're still coiling up with upper body. Step three, we're transferring everything out into that ball to really hammer these shots. And this is a lot easier to do when you have a well-placed ball. You know, this isn't something that you necessarily want to do and really attack this hard when you got a ball down below your knees. But when you get one up in the strike zone, waist high or a little above waist high like we're seeing here up around the shoulders, now you can really explode forward, drive off the ground, and actually he's gotten quite a bit airborne here. So he just really killed this ball by using the momentum of his body added to the speed of the racket. And when you put the body and the racket together, you're going to get tremendous amounts of racket speed. Finally, we'll see as he lands here, you can see how the body weight is transferred. So now everything is up right over top of this baseline where before it was well behind it. Okay, so this isn't only in the forehand, this is going to be in the backhand too. We'll take a look at a backhand here with Rafa again, and you'll notice again this ball is a little bit shorter. He's a little bit farther back in the court, so he's going to move forward a little bit more. But we'll notice how far behind the baseline he is here, and if we pay attention to his waist, this is again correlates exactly with what we were talking about in the Power U video in the Top Spin Forehand series. But I'll go ahead and go forward. Here's where we're going to start. You'll notice that his legs begin to bend and he's dropping down. That's that U-type motion, or the start of the U, the going down part of that. And then just like we talked about in this last video, notice how the lower body is leading the way. Look at his front foot, how it's stretching out. He's stretching these obliques like we talked about in the forehand. Shoulders are very, very turned. The upper body's staying back behind this shot. But then now as he goes ahead and begins the forward motion of his racket, he's adding the wrecking ball power of his upper body to the racket speed. So the upper body's moving forward as the racket's moving forward, and you can see that. Look how much the upper body's moving into the shot. The momentum is moving into the shot, and it's adding to the speed of the racket. And again, as he finishes up, the entire body is almost stacked straight up and down and almost up here by the baseline. So he started out 5 or 6 feet behind the baseline, chasing up to this ball, getting the momentum from his body into the shot, not falling back at all. And that's how you really hammer those shots and add the weight of your body into the speed of the racket and get those really heavy hit shots. You'll hear a lot of great tennis players talk about how heavy someone's hitting the ball, and that's how they're doing it. Okay, yeah, so this is a fantastic technique to incorporate in your game, and this is one of the techniques that we talk about in the Top Spin Forehand series, and we talk about the Power U motion and how the body weight transfers from the back foot up to the front foot as you're making contact with the forehands. And if you'd like to see that entire video, I got a great bonus for you guys. I'm going to play a preview of that video. If you click on the link that's popping up in the screen, you'll be able to see that entire Power U video plus the entire Top Spin Forehand series absolutely free of charge. So I'm about to play a preview of that. Click on that link. You'll be able to get all those things for free. If you enjoyed this video, click the like button. +1 this video on Google. That really helps us to grow the channel and to give you guys some more great videos. I look forward to seeing you all much more in the future, and I'll talk to you soon. Top spin with your forehand, and in this video we're going to talk about how to use the lower body correctly to get some leverage from the ground, really create a lot of power so that you start ripping some of those forehands, not only with top spin, with a lot of speed. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so this video is about the lower body, as I mentioned, and we're going to talk about how to leverage the ground for some power, and it's a motion that I call the Power U. So basically your hips and your body are going to be making this U-type shape as we're hitting the shot, and that's going to help you to really transfer energy from the ground through your body and out to the ball, and result in a lot more speed. So let's go ahead and get started on the basic motion first. So as you're waiting for the ball to come, you're going to be standing fairly tall, and then as you begin your forward momentum, you always want to be moving forward through the ball as we're coming to contact, if at all possible. As we start our forward momentum, we're going to let our hips drop down. So you can imagine my hips are starting to go down, and they're making the first half of this U-type shape. Now as I begin the forward swing with my racket, now my lower body is going to be driving upward